Once again, we're staying in our drawingaccurately.dwg file. And as you can see, I've left it in the same state as it was at the end of the last video, where we created our little rectangle using coordinates. Now, we're going to utilize a dynamic input this time. Now, you'll remember when we talked about the interface way back, I asked you to make sure that dynamic input here was showing on your status bar. So if it's not there, that little blue icon there, just go to your little 3 lines here, near the top there, make sure that dynamic input is ticked, like that. Come down to the 3 lines again to close the customization menu, and then you want to make sure that dynamic input is on. Now if you right click on dynamic input, you can go to dynamic input settings. Now I don't change any of these settings ever. I never have done. I just stick with the default dynamic input settings in the dynamic input tab. I'll just click on OK there. Now dynamic input is great because when you start drawing things, you start getting all these little prompts next to the crosshair on the screen. So let's have a look and see how those work. So leave the grid on there, like so, dynamic input on. We're not going to use our polar tracking, our auto snap, or our object snaps, okay? We're just going to use dynamic input only. Now I'm going to go back up to the home tab on the ribbon, into the draw panel and select line. I'm not worried about where you click for this first point, okay? It doesn't have to be on a grid line. If you want it to be on a grid line, you might want to switch snap on, like so, and get a snap point if you want it nice and neat and tidy, like that, and then come down to snap again and turn it off. Otherwise it'll interfere with the dynamic input. So look, you'll notice I'm moving around using the dynamic input there from that first point. So I want that to be 500, like so, like our other rectangle on the left. If I now press the tab key on the keyboard, that's the one with the little arrow that points to the right, top left on your keyboard. Notice now it's taken me to the angle. So if I type 0 there, horizontal, yeah, and press tab again, can you see it's done 500 at 0 degrees. If I now just left click to confirm that, it's drawn the first line of my rectangle. So now I type in 250, press tab, and I want to go vertically upwards, so that'll be 90 degrees based on the east is 0 unit setting that we talked about with the direction, remember previously. Tab again, and there's our vertical segment. Just left click on the mouse to confirm, and then it prompts you for the next part of the line. So I'm going to come this way now. Notice I'm going to type in 500 again. This time I'm going to the left. So that's not going to be 0, that's going to be 180. So when I tab, I need that angle. Can you see it there? 175 in blue. That needs to be 180. Tab again, and there's my segment there. Left click to confirm, and then like previously, right click, close back to where we started from. As you can see, that's using your dynamic input to create another rectangle. Really clever stuff, huh? But you'll notice there are easier ways of doing things. So coordinates, if you're using coordinates and you need to be that accurate, use coordinates. But you'll notice dynamic input is much quicker and much more visual. What I'm going to show you in the next video is how to use what they call direct distance entry, which is even quicker than the last two methods to draw the same rectangle.